The race to Raisina Hills has gained a full momentum after BJP fielded Bihar's governor Ram Nath Kovind for the president. Stung by BJP's move, it seems that the Congress now is working for a token fight against NDA candidate. Top Congress sources have told India Today the party may soon now propose MS Swaminathan as their candidate to counter Kovind. Sources also said that Meira Kumar is also an option, rejecting BJP's appeal for consensus on its choice. And Congress has said opposition would take a call on the candidate after meeting on June 22nd. But the BJP seems to be having a tough time to convince its ally Shiv Sena. While Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar hinted at supporting Kovind, the TDP and the TRS have led support to Kovind. Opposition remains divided, with Samajwadi Party, Congress still undecided on their support. Meanwhile, a scurry of activity of Bihar Bhavan since morning as BJP leaders make a beeline to meet the NDA's presidential pick. In fact, Kovind has now resigned as Bihar governor and will file his nomination on June 23rd.
गरीब घर से निकल करके कोई व्यक्ति महामहिम राज्यपाल के पद तक पहुंचता है और उसको जिसने जीवन इतना गरीबी में बिताया हो उसका दर्द कांग्रेस को क्या पता चलेगा। अब ये समय आ गया जब पूरा देश इसके लिए खुशियां मना रहा है कि श्री रामनाथ कोविंद जी एक मात्र इसलिए नहीं कि वो सिर्फ दलित समाज से आते हैं, इसलिए वो एक गुणी व्यक्ति हैं। उन्होंने जीवन अपना राष्ट्र के लिए दिया है। कांग्रेस की जो दलित समाज विरोधी जो मानसिकता है वो सामने आ रहा है। मैं समझता हूँ अभी भी भगवान सद्बुद्धि दे।
All eyes are on that meeting as far as the presidential poll is concerned of the opposition parties.
JDU will decide in a day or two about the support or not to support the presidential candidature of Sri Kovind ji. Though he has an excellent rapport with the Bihar government and its Chief Minister Shri Nitish Kumar, our party president, he, unlike the other governors, maintained sobriety and decency while charging his duty as governor. He never played foul like the other governor house in the country, and the behavior of the BJP nominated governors.
Right. Well, now let's take a look at the numbers in the race to Raisina. BJP has now, in fact, it's difficult to convince the SP, Shiv Sena and the left. BSP chief Mayawati has also been opposed to Kovind as he has been associated with RSS. The left and the NCP too have criticized the BJP pick as a political gimmick. The BJP, despite all this, has about 60.75 committed votes from the BJP, BJD, AIDMK, TRS, YSR, Congress. Now with the JDU support, and if BSP votes is also secured, the number of committed votes could go up to 65.98%. Now let me now cut across to my colleague Brajesh Pandey, who is joining me live for more on this. In fact, Brajesh, if I can quickly ask you, BJP, more or less the number of votes, they have secured the number of votes. It's about Shiv Sena and the embarrassment that an NDA ally possibly going against and voting against the government is something that they are now fighting for, isn't it?
Well, I mean, with the case of Shiv Sena, they have more or less made up their mind, that it doesn't matter because by this masterstroke of appointing Ram Nath Kovind as the next presidential candidate, they have divided the opposition. And, there are 2 to 3 opposition parties who are firmly behind the Congress. Now cracks have appeared and they are, in private as well as in public, they are sending signals that they would not be averse to supporting Ram Nath Kovind. So the BJP, as far as votes are concerned, is pretty much secured. What is happening with Shiv Sena is also also a resultant of the internal dynamics which we are seeing for the last, ever since Devendra Fadnavis government has come in. If you remember, last week Devendra Fadnavis had said that, the BJP is not averse to holding midterm poll if push comes to shove. So that internal dynamics is being played out, but the BJP is very confident that, that Shiv Sena will also realize sooner than later that they will have to come around with the NDA if they really want to have, a stable relationship with the NDA. Otherwise, if they branch out, then their own position will weaken, be it in the national level or in their tie-up in Maharashtra.
Brijesh, if I can also ask you that despite the games that Shiv Sena is playing and the kind of confrontation that we see, is there any sort of worry even if the opposition comes together, puts out, let's say, a counter Dalit candidate or maybe a woman candidate? Is there some sort of a worry there for the government?
Well, the BJP is clearly confident that they have the requisite number. They don't have to worry on that account. And they feel that, given the kind of permutation and combination and the weakening Congress hold over the united opposition, they feel that, that with announcement of Ram Nath Kovind as the next presidential candidate, they have delivered a master stroke, and they have made sure that, parties like BSP, even the JDU, we heard the JDU leader speaking volumes about how good Ram Nath Kovind has been. So it has sent a very clear message, and they are more or less certain that, even Shiv Sena will also see to it that, Shiv Sena will also come around and support the NDA candidate.
Brijesh, just stay on with me. Let's get a word from our colleague Kamlesh Sutar, who is joining us from Mumbai, in fact, on this. Kamlesh, if I can come to you, we were discussing about Shiv Sena. So, Brijesh, was telling us that the BJP somewhere hopes that in the end, Shiv Sena is going to come around. They will see the merit of supporting the BJP candidate, of supporting the larger party for their own significance nationally and in the state as well. Has Uddhav Thackeray made up his mind? What's the game plan for Shiv Sena?
Well, the Shiv Sena knows this very well, Ankit, that this is not the earlier Shiv Sena, not even for that matter earlier BJP, which would take to the whims of Shiv Sena like it did earlier. During Pratibha Patil, Shiv Sena preferred to support Pratibha Patil, saying that she is a Maharashtrian, a Marathi candidate, which they wanted to support, and the BJP had little than to oppose the Shiv Sena. And even during Pranab Mukherjee's time, Shiv Sena said that we don't see any better candidate than Pranab Mukherjee at this point in time. But this time around, there's Narendra Modi, there's Amit Shah, and even Amit Shah went on to Uddhav Thackeray's residence, Matoshri, to persuade him, to convince him that they should come on board with the BJP. But the Shiv Sena knows well that in coming a couple of years, there is no opportunity like this for the Shiv Sena that has been playing the junior partner in Maharashtra, unlike earlier. It knows that this is their last opportunity to exert pressure on the BJP and get a respectable, get something respectable in exchange of its support. The Shiv Sena knows that it cannot openly oppose Ram Nath Kovind because he is a Dalit, and the local permutation and combination also matter.
Yes.
But before officially announcing their support, the Shiv Sena would look at a better bargain.
Kamlesh, a lot of people, especially the opposition, NCP and the Congress, have been saying that these are ominous signs between the coalition partners in Maharashtra. In fact, people going to the extent of saying that the government is not going to last its full term, and possibly the presidential election is going to be a testimony to that fact. Is there an imminent danger? Are these two allies at a point where possibly there could be a breakup?
Had the Shiv Sena wanted to stretch beyond a certain point, Uddhav Thackeray would have made his stand very clear yesterday. What Uddhav Thackeray spoke yesterday wasn't very clear on whether his party is going to support Ram Nath Kovind or not. He kept it dicey. He kept the BJP guessing. Playing his cards close to the chest, Uddhav Thackeray said that he doesn't approve of politics on the basis of caste. Proposing Ram Nath Kovind's name only because he's a Dalit is not acceptable to the party. Okay. Then also, in the same breath, Uddhav Thackeray says that they'll decide on whether to support Ram Nath Kovind or not. So if Uddhav Thackeray wanted to snap the ties with the BJP at this point in time, he should have obviously made his stand very clear that they do not approve of the name, since they have already proposed two names, that of Mohan Bhagwat and MS Swaminathan earlier.
Yes.
They would have said that since we have proposed two names and the BJP have rejected those names, we are not interested. But Uddhav Thackeray has still kept the option open of supporting Ram Nath Kovind. Within a couple of hours, Uddhav Thackeray will be meeting his party top leaders, and a decision is expected in another 2-3 hours.
Kamlesh Sutar, Brijesh Pandey, both of you, thank you so much for joining us and giving us your perspective on this story. Well, As Ram Nath Kovind wins the NDA's favor, and is fielded as the presidential candidate. Celebration broke out in his hometown of Kanpur in Uttar Pradesh. Family members and neighbors were seen distributing sweets and celebrating Bihar's governor possible elevation to Raisina Hill in New Delhi. While the family members said they were confident that he would eventually be made the president, neighbors too felt proud that one among their own is now a favorite for the country's top job.
बहुत खुश हुई, बहुत बता नहीं सकते, क्योंकि बाबा जी ना हम तो पहले ही चाहते थे बन जाएंगे। जब राज्यपाल बने थे तो हम भगवान से ये मनाते थे कि राष्ट्रपति भी बन जाए।
बहुत खुश हुए उनके राष्ट्रपति बनने पर। मैं बहुत बहुत बधाई देती हूँ और उनका बहुत सरल स्वभाव और नेक इंसान है, वो सबकी मदद करते हैं, इसके लिए मुझे बहुत खुशी हुई।